So it is May the 4th. I found myself idle for about 3.5 seconds and there was still ice on the lakes. So you know what happened. I had to go riding snowmobile. This is a bit overdue, but it's going to be a bit of a long-term update on the Lynx Brutal. 5,060 kilometers this season on this snowmobile. Everyone wants to know their performance and all that stuff, so I'll just go over a few highlights and a few negatives. This will start at the front. I like the stock bumper, it's good enough. I upgraded the windshield and put my big light bar on it. At the beginning of the season, I really liked the stock skis, but as the snow conditions changed, they became very unpredictable, and so I changed them out to those, the 10-inch, or well, the 7.4s with the big boots, and the dually carbides, and it just works. These shocks, I'm gonna revalve them next year and change the clickers. Oh, that was up when I left the house. It always adjusts itself. I don't really like these 3-position clickers. I think the shocks are fine. It just needs a little bit different valving and the clicker changed. GPS, I wired that in like normal. I added, I was plumbing race sleds, so I plumbed this one too. It's atrocious on gas. That's the best thing you can say about it. There's no other way to describe it. It just burns a lot of gas. I think it's because of the track, but anyway. Everyone wants to know how it backs up, and it's kind of unfair to compare this because you see, I took the whole back out of the tunnel. This backs up with the back gun out of the tunnel about similar to a normal Expedition with 1.5 inches and a flip up, even though this has solid rails, so it's not too bad. Here's my issue with the snowmobile. Missing, and there's a lot of them. The snowmobile can go too fast for its own good, and when you go fast, that happens. I've seen like 146 or 148 or something on the speedometer. Probably like 130 or so true speed, and the track just can't do it. The non-gearbox or no gearbox straight chain case is not an issue. It's geared low enough and has enough torque that it gets the job done, and it tows my gas sleigh with no issue. And even geared that low, it can still blow up the track, so that kind of sucks. The rear suspension is okay from the factory. It got the goods. I mean, it got the big 2-inch shocks, big springs. I think from the factory it's better than an Expedition Extreme. I revalved a couple times and revalved another time yet. The problems I've had are, you can't see, in here, right here, there's a little bolt that causes the acceleration arm, or throttle rod, whatever you want to call it, to be on an eccentric bender to change the motion ratio. That little bolt broke. It all stayed together. Like, I rode the snowmobile. I thought the shock was gone, but the shock wasn't gone. The motion ratio wasn't under control. So I replaced the bolt. It was a threaded hole and it was junk. I drilled it and through bolted, and that hasn't been an issue. The other issue I have is, you can kind of see it now. Well, not really, it's too much ice. This lower shaft is bent. I only noticed it after the last ride. It should be okay. I'm going to replace it for next season, obviously. So, long story short, suspension is good. It can be made significantly better with valving. A couple bolts need to be upgraded, no big deal. Front suspension, pretty good. Valving would be better. Springs are okay. Gearing, good. Track makes it a ton of fun, man. This thing is so fun. I've been talking too much subjectively. The actual experience riding it is a lot of fun. This is my favorite snowmobile I've ever had for riding rivers and brooks and water systems and stuff. It has the traction, it has the power, it can pull the skis. The side hill is good. You can just flick up a river and put it into a side hill on the bank, and it's a lot of fun like that. It's fun off trail. It probably doesn't leave a good trail because it's so much fun you're riding it on the throttle a lot, but it gets there. It really gets the job done. And so the other thing is the stock clutching. Really wanted to burn the belt. So I kind of developed, I had a clutch kit partially developed for 850s, and I finished developing on this one. It worked so good I used it in Cane's Quest on my other sled. With that clutch kit, it's good. It doesn't slip the belt the same. Belt heat stays more under control. Sometimes on this, if you're constantly creeping, the belt heat does get up there, but as soon as you get any momentum at all and get the clutches spinning, get some air moving, the belt heat goes away. So 5,080 kilometers or whatever, 5,060, whatever I said I had, I'm still on the original belt, and I've towed sleighs and been in the woods and went fast enough to blow up the track and all that stuff, and the belt is still original. So I would say that's not an issue. So who should buy this? Who shouldn't buy this? What is it good for? All those questions. If you have a Summit and you are used to managing a big lug track and not making it explode, and you want something that's a bit better well-rounded, way better on the trail, more capacity for carrying stuff, better for creeping around, all those things, more comfortable, like the list goes on and on and on. You can have this snowmobile. This is great. If you can manage the lug height and not blow up the snow and not load up, this is a great sled. If you have like a 4-stroke Expedition or something, and you're used to running on these flat lakes wide open and big logging roads wide open and running 70 plus miles an hour all the time, and you want a lighter 2-stroke feeling snowmobile, go buy an Expedition Extreme. That track will not last. It'll just explode. And it's slow with the big track. It's just not fast. But if you're an off-trail kind of guy or girl, and you want something that is a bit more practical and a bit more well-rounded than a Summit or a Boondocker, and you can do some trips with your buddies, and you can tow a gas sleigh or tow a small sleigh of wood to your camp and all that stuff, and you think you can manage not exploding the track, I really do suggest this. I really love it. It's a lot of fun. But if you're used to running a lot of hard packed trail and a lot of speed, probably an Extreme would be a better choice. Anyway, overall, I really like this. If someone has, well, let's say if someone has a track suggestion, there is no suggestion other than just don't go fast. So I don't know what I'm doing for next year. I don't know if I'm going to put an inch and 1.8 on it, or if I'm just going to put another 2.4 on it and suck it up and ruin it again. I don't think it would perform the same with a 1.8. I think it would be, it would just ruin the snowmobile for what it is. Okay, anyway, I hope you liked that. Leave some comments if you got any questions.